If you have small dream, you can only achieve small result.
Sure, right. Yeah.
Have the big dreams. So when you see crazy machinery, all you have to decide is, do I like it or not? That's number one. Is this the toy I want to have?
There you go.
And then work the way how to achieve this, And then, okay, I like the toy, but I actually don't produce anything that can use it. Well, find the customers who are looking for product that you can produce it,
Right. Yeah.
The key is that you like the toy. That's
Start somewhere.
This episode of the Fabricator Podcast is powered by Salvagnini America, a leader in flexible automation for sheet metal processing. For more than 4 decades, Salvagnini's smart, connected solutions have helped manufacturers streamline production, boost efficiency, and stay ahead in a competitive market. With service technicians and support experts across North America, Salvagnini delivers unmatched service. Learn how flexible, easy automation can help unlock your shop's full potential at salvagnini.com. And now, back to the episode.
Hello, welcome to the Fabricator Podcast. This is coming from Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Indeed it is.
We're here at FABTECH Canada. I'm joined by Rob Coleman with Canadian Fabricating and Welding.
Hello.
And Gareth Slager, who is the producer of the Fabricator Podcast.
Yeah, try.
How's it going just sitting at this table for this?
I love being up here.
Okay, all right, that's good. We're going to speak with Ted Redlarski of Noram Enterprises. In this episode, Noram Enterprises is a leading architectural glazing and aluminum fabricator offering total contract glazing and curtain wall services.
Off the top of your head.
Well, the reason I had to read that is because, architectural products, he does a little bit more than just he's also involved in like the glass end of things. So, but this episode is sponsored by Salvagnini, and if you're familiar with Salvagnini equipment, they have always been involved with equipment working together. Yeah. So in a way, they were kind of advanced manufacturing when people were just kind of throwing around the word very loosely.
Yeah.
And Ted gets into it a little bit.
Yeah.
But really, I think of entrepreneur during our conversation.
I was going to say, I don't know if this came up in the conversation, but I found something online that at the age of 12, he started his own bike repair shop in Poland.
Oh, wow.
So he's just been doing it all his life.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
But he's done a lot. So he came over from Poland. He had his choice. This is also a fun part of the interview. Choice between Australia, Canada, and the U.S.
Yeah.
And Canada stood out.
Yeah.
So
you'll hear why.
Yeah. But you'll enjoy this episode. Really interesting and kind of philosophical.
Yeah.
I think I learned some things.
I wrote that word
in the
down.
conversation.
Philosophical, yeah.
So stay tuned once again. Ted Redlarski of Noram Enterprises, and we want to thank our friends at Salvagnini for sponsoring this episode. Enjoy.
North America's largest metal forming, fabricating, welding, and finishing event is back, bringing together the latest innovations, hands-on demos, and the people driving the industry forward. If you're looking to solve a challenge, discover new equipment, or just see what's next, FABTECH is where you need to be. It's all coming to Las Vegas, October 21st to the 23rd. Register today at fabtechexpo.com.
Today's guest, we have Ted Redlarski, Noram Enterprises. Thanks for joining us. Can you give the folks an idea of your business and how it's a little unusual in the sense that it's not really sheet metal. It's more architectural related.
Yes, it's architectural product. We basically provide services mostly associated with the building facade, but periodically we do other things, including interior or any custom specific product that might not even be related to construction.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. And what type of metals do you typically work with?
Majority is aluminum.
Okay.
But we do stainless steel, galvanized steel, bronze, copper sometimes, practically any sheet metal, plus any profiles of the metal. But predominantly it's extrusion, aluminum again.
Mm-hmm.
But we also do steel, and whatever the customers may be wishing for, you know?
Yeah. When did you found your company?
Now it's going to be almost 37 years ago.
No kidding.
It's
Wow.
36
Congratulations.
years ago. So I end up to be jobless, and I complained to the lawyer, which was a member of the host family after I immigrated to Canada, and basically said, he interviewed me like, what can you do? He was asking for help to find me the job, but
Right.
and he says, you got to create your own, he says.
Welcome to North America.
Yes. And that's how I started. I got first involved with the renovations of the basement for a short period of time.
Okay.
And I've done two. And one attic with a couple rooms, and that was it. And then those things died. And then by accident, I ended up in the glazing industry. I called some friends that I knew and searching for job, and basically this gentleman helped me out. He took me in. He had a partner already, another Polish guy, so I ended up 3 Polish guys in one group. And they teach me the basics. And that's why I got my foot in the door. And we did separate it. One of our employers went bankrupt shortly after, and one of our partners split. I stick around with the second partner for probably a couple of years, I think. But it didn't work out because he was focusing on like end of the week, payday, and I was trying to build something going forward, so he didn't like me. I was the worst enemy in a crew because I took care of the QA/QC and I would scrutinize everything, to the point that it drove him nuts. And we end up to be divorced at the end of the day.
Right.
So your business now, I mean, you do everything from design to fabrication
Yeah.
to installation. So what do
beginning
you start
was
with?
installation.
Oh, okay.
And then one of my customers suddenly passed away. 3 customers of his general contractors approached me to finish the jobs. I did it. And then they were trying to convince me to become from the installer of glazing facades to actually glazing contractor, take care of everything. And
Wow.
it took me a few months. I was resisting because at that point already I have 120 customers.
Oh, wow.
Some of them I did only one job, but and I said if they find out I bid against them, I'm going to lose all this.
Right.
And this customer base said, "Who's going to tell them?" So for 3 years I was working undercover, installing for other people, and also working for this general contractor. And finally things leaked out. In 1 year, I lost all my customers. By the time I already grew enough that I didn't really care anymore, and that was beginning of my fabrication facility. Right. My first leased facility was only 2,200 square feet.
Okay.
So just a few months after I started, I had to roll material outside to the street to have enough room in a shop to expand. And so 3 years later, I bought the first building, 40,000 square feet. I occupy one unit, 10,000. But every year I would take another unit.
Wow.
And in 5 or 6 years, I end up working 3 shifts around the clock.
Oh, wow.
And that was very demanding. And the third shift was a fiasco because nobody wanted to work midnight till morning. And
Right.
it ended up to be with the least qualified people. And usually the day shift, half a day we're fixing what.
Yeah,
Because
that's the risk.
they didn't even have the chance to call anybody for advice, in the middle of the night. So it was kind of awkward.
Yeah.
So then we bought the building in Mississauga, 150,000 square feet right now.
Wow.
And since then we never run 3 shifts,
Yeah. Wow.
It's 1 or 2 shifts only. And slowly I begin to invest in automation.
Right.
So one of the biggest influences on my progress going forward was Sota glazing. So I went for the visit, not knowing what equipment to buy, and
Right.
I saw everything Illumatec from Germany, and it was the most expensive. And I decided I'm not gonna try to figure it out what to do. I'm just gonna, if I want to be the best, I gotta copy the best. And I went with the Illumatec. And as the financing resources became available. I keep investing in automation. Till one day we end up in a trade show for glass in Shanghai. There was nothing new on it. It was boring comparing to Bau in Munich. So we end up like really walking through, there's nothing there. So we went next door to automotive. And that's when I saw robots. You know, KUKA robots making a little song and dance at the entrance, you know,
Right.
to the music. And I said, I love that equation, you know. So I decided to buy, even if it's for PR reason, you know, for, promotional, right? And we approached the Chinese company. They had the turret punch with the 10-foot brake press with the 2 KUKA robots, only 440,000 US. But then it turns out there is no service. They didn't sell anything to North America. They have no representation, no service. English, like I would have to learn Chinese most likely.
Yeah.
12-hour time difference.
Yeah.
So you can never, during business hours, call even anybody. Then you bring technicians, you have to fly them over. And I said, nah, that's too much. We went to another trade show, and I end up buying the most expensive and the best from Salvagnini S4P4 line. And
Oh, wow, an entire line.
yes, entire line again. So the first meeting in Austria we had, they were asking me, like, show us the product, we tell you how to do this. And I say, for how long that machine lasts? And they say, well, probably 40, 50 years, you might pull it out. And I say, how do you expect me to know what I do in 50 years? So I said, you got to load it. So we end up loading this with basically flexible options that gives us, because like bank refused to finance. I had to take a mortgage on a building to pay because they said, what's your business plan? And my business plan was occupying this machine maybe 5 to 10% of one shift a day. They said, that's not good business plan. My answer to them was, why do people build a car? Because when they built the first one, all the other people wanted is faster horses.
Right.
And you know, why would you invest in a building the vehicle with a combustion engine?
Yeah.
Right.
I said, so, you know, I want to be the kind of a precursor of this. So then I find out that there is already in North American market at the time was over 700 pieces of Salvagnini equipment engaged, but mostly in a furniture, medical, electrical equipment, and all the others, elevators, hollow metal doors.
Right.
But nothing in architectural. So we ended up
Interesting.
being first in Canada and second in North America that produces, at the time,
Yeah.
that produces products for architectural. So first one was Kingspan, but they kept their plant secret.
Yeah.
Nobody was allowed to walk in. So for probably 2 decades, nobody knew how they make those beautiful products.
Wow.
But
Okay.
if you go look at the dry design, they call this, you can see the variety of it's practically jewelry for architecture, you know?
Interesting.
Did your equipment become a sales tool? If maybe customers came in to see how you did it, and they're like, "Whoa, wow, this is very advanced."
So this is, I was always leaving the tour when the customers are coming. I was always leaving Savani line for the last. So Savani is asking me, "You're still not busy?" You know, like, "How you doing?" And I said, "Fantastic." I said, "Why?" I cannot imagine PR that I'm getting, because you leave the best for the last, and it was like the fireworks when you watch,
Right.
The last 10, 20 seconds is the biggest kaboom.
Yeah.
That was the impression the Savani line was doing on everybody visiting the shop. So it's a fantastic solution, like consistency of production, accuracy. It's a very sophisticated
Yeah.
equipment. And the big plus is that people want to work on this.
Right.
Right.
When you try to find somebody, you're going to be working on a brake press or shear, hands. It's not as attractive when they say you work with a computer, you press the button, and things are just going to fly
Yeah.
off the line at the end. So,
What was it like to adapt to having all that automation? Like, how long did it take you to feel like, okay, this is probably going to make me money soon because, it's running smoothly? Like, did it take a while to get comfortable with it, to
So,
understand how it all works?
I in my life follow my gut.
Right.
Somebody told me, if the stone flies in your face, what do? You duck or you cover your hands. So they say, why you trust yourself when it comes to serious injury or death, but you don't trust yourself making business decisions or the decisions it is. Another example was like this. How long the woman thinks when you ask her to marry you.
Yeah.
Right away, she'll tell you yes or no. She knows, right?
Right.
Okay, so when you come to, when you see, this is what I experienced in my life. When I see something that I like it, right away I know I want it. And all it took is a few senior managers that I met in my life and learn from the things they say. You have to trust yourself.
Yeah.
You know, do you think Elon Musk knew where he's going to end up when he started as a young fella, you know, and this, like, those are all unknown paths, because if you duplicate others, you only achieve what the others do.
Right.
If you have ambition to grow further and have fun of going into unknown area, then you have to start this exploration. Exploration is based on a gut feeling and a decision not make on a proof, but rather expectations, you know?
Yeah.
So somebody told me that, and I followed this for last probably 3 decades, close to now, and it ends up to be, in my case, over 80% correct decisions, you know. So
Well, it's good.
That's a pretty good average.
try yourself. When you face the questions, write down the first answer comes to your head within less than 60 seconds. And then you can evaluate, but always keep that in mind. That was the first one.
That is actually the strategy I use in barroom trivia. So my stakes are much lower than your stakes.
So,
That is the philosophy of the table, though. That is the
so
philosophy.
risk tolerance is another story, you know.
Yeah.
Risk tolerance is another story. So you judge yourself accordingly. Don't bet your entire house on something you're
another-
not sure. But you know, you find the level that you feel that you can lose it,
Right.
okay? And so in terms of Salvagnini, people says how it doesn't work. So I'm asking, okay, how much is worth the used one?
Right.
Because that's what you get if it doesn't work. But I tell you, the level of sophistication when you bring somebody, it's like you bring to the garage somebody to fix your car,
Right.
and you have two scenarios. One, all the equipment is old, there's a grease and dirt everywhere, you know, and then you come to another facility, also fixing cars, but it's clean, it's modern, it's new. You know, where are you going to leave your car?
Yeah.
Assuming it's the same price you pay, you know?
Of course, yeah.
So that impression is valid, you know. Secondly is capacity,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So when you show that you have automation that can produce level of the consistent sophistication,
Yeah.
because anybody can produce, not maybe anybody, but there is so many people can produce artwork.
Right.
But the problem is, can anybody else can duplicate it?
Yeah.
So when you go to robotic automation, you can actually work on one piece of art, but the problem goes away when you press the button. Now you duplicate that piece of art.
Right.
And this is the advantage where what I see in investing in a sophisticated machinery and automation and which constantly improves, you know, speed and efficiency and everything else.
Right.
Plus Salvagnini can make the product that cannot be duplicated on brake press and this. So this is the amazing part, you know, when you can actually do things that cannot be done on anything else other than a family of Salvagnini, which means original, or now they have other companies that they did duplicate the idea.
Right. Yeah.
And can you explain to maybe people not familiar with the P4 and S4 how does the system work, and what percentage of you originally said about 5% of your business? What percent of your business is being fed through the system now?
So number one key, the way I see in a success, it's a 3 pieces of puzzle.
Yeah.
First of all, you have to surround yourself with the right people
Right.
that you can trust, you can rely on, and they have the brain power to do majority of decision on their own once they get the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. And then you want to keep that team steady. You know, you want to create the family that they stick together. That's number one. Number two, it's innovation. So the best university, I end up going to 2 universities. One university ended up to be the trade shows, So automation gives your customer confidence on that you can actually do it. You can repeat what you've done. You know, it's not like, oh, this guy quit, now I cannot do it, and stuff like that. You know.
Right. Yeah.
The third one, from those trade shows, plus another university, is the exposure on the market over the years. You know. So you cooperate with many different companies, and every time those interactions, they give you wisdom, they give you knowledge, you know. You can compare what you do, how you do it, and the others. Is it a better way or not, you know? And various things can be patented. Typically in construction, everything is applied engineering, and you know, you cannot develop new kind of brick, you know, because it's still going to be a brick, right? But the key problem is that I encounter growing is that if you try to be an artist, you have to remain small.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to find 10 artists
Right.
of the same quality. They're going to be maybe artists, but they're going to be different. And the larger the team grows, the more you should develop dependence on automation. Because automation, once you achieve that level, you can consistently reproduce the same results. And you know, you might have the sheet metal fabricator excellent, but then you have enough volume. I need a second one, and it's not going to be much,
Right.
no matter what, you know. Unless we count on genetic modifications, you know, of some sort. You know, maybe that duplication would someday come, but not as of today. So
Right.
then you listen to the customers, what they want, what they're looking for. You know, like you know, for example, you go to a restaurant and you order the food, but you give some finicky instruction to the waiter, you know, can you cook it like this, and then whatever. If it's a good restaurant, they're going to try to accommodate you. Try. If it's not, they're going to say, no, sorry, sir, baked potato or fries, that's it, end of story. You know what I mean? And then you're not going to get that level of satisfaction.
Right.
And the dependence on the service you expect, especially when you deliver a freebie, when you deliver something that you not charge, and it's a cherry on a cake. I found this dealing with the Mercedes-Benz. You know, you buy Mercedes, and then on the way out, deal is signed. You know, they're gonna still give you a free car wash, a nice pen for $150, and the leather wrapped book. You know, none of it was needed, but those little things, they're gonna make you go above and beyond, you know, and you're gonna come back because of that impression, you know. So that this to me is foundation. My philosophy is to try to deliver always more, not just stick to the contract, but actually, if there is opportunity, deliver a favor. What's the definition of favor? Definition of favor is a small cost on your end,
Right.
and a substantially larger benefit for the receiver. You know what I mean? So it's not like you're going broke.
Yeah.
But if you can do something for this, just do it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
when we decided to go for Salvagnini, okay, so I was basically aiming at having some robots,
Right.
because I wanted to impress the customers that I'm not anymore like everything manual.
Right.
Okay, and then we end up, you know, when we uncovered the Salvagnini was a leader for sheet metal fabrication, then we keep on adding options, you know. So they have different height of storage. For example, they asked them, what's the maximum? 15. That's what I want. So we have 15 level warehouse tower with the elevator. You know, there is a robotic elevator that picks up the sheets, checks the size, thickness, even checks the tensile strength by bending the corner. So it measures the force
Right.
for tensile strength, and then passes that message to that information to the panel bender.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, they bend the right 90 degree because you have to allow for spring back. And then automatic setup, it's a marvel, you know.
Right.
You can produce one component, each component are of different material, different thickness, completely different this, and they're coming out practically with the same timing.
Wow.
So if you order, for example, from me 1,000 panels, all the same size,
Right.
or they're going to be 1,000 panels, each one different size, then production time probably is going to be very close to identical, if not identical.
Wow.
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 And that's not achievable when you use the manual labor,
Right.
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So There's many advantages.
Yeah.
Second piece of equipment after this warehouse tower is a machinery named S4.
Right.
And that does all the cutting, punching, can do embossing, you know. It has quite a lot. Our machine has 47 heads.
Wow.
So two-head punch has one head. This machine has 47.
Wow.
Some heads rotate, some heads are stationary. And unlike laser, which perhaps has more flexibility, with laser you can cut any shape.
Right.
Sure.
But then you have to pick up the nesting.
Right.
And here, nothing like that is required. The S4 will cut all the nesting to pieces, throw it out. So
Yeah.
practically, if you learn to trust this machine, you can turn off the lights and go home.
Yeah.
And as long as you have a robot to offload at the end of the line, which we don't, then
Right.
then basically you can produce with the lights off. After S4, we have a couple stations for loading and offloading. So if no bending required, there would be a station to offload. But also if we have to use the laser to cut some sophisticated patterns, then that will be another station to load for the panel bender.
Gotcha.
Then before panel bender is the station that flips the panel, because we can produce sheet metal product with a pre-finished surface.
Okay.
And Salvani, surprisingly, to us and many people we talk, you won't damage the material. So even painted steel, we produce the panels with no protective film. It still won't scratch it.
Okay.
But when punching happens, you have one edge sharp and one edge dull. So
Okay.
you want to keep that sharp edge away from the finished surface. So panel has to be flipped, and basically for that reason, then then it ends up on the bending, which is P4 machine, and we can do maximum length of bending 3.2 meters. Which in our industry predominantly 3 meters maximum.
Okay.
Predominantly, it's not. Of course, the exceptions happen with the jumbo sizes. And then at the end of the line, you pick up the pieces. So it's a perfect solution because you program once for your product.
Right.
You might end up with a library of 1,000 different pieces, and
Yeah.
all you do is go library, press the button, and just minutes later, your piece is ready to pick up.
I was looking at some of the pictures on your website, and I'm thinking about designing stuff. Now, having that sort of technology, does that help you on the design side? Sort of thinking we can be more flexible because we know we're going to cut whatever we want on this machine.
Yes. So this machine goes above and beyond. We still have regular brake presses and shears and notching machines that we use and punching, but Salvani has some limitations too. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
But at the same time has far more abilities that regular equipment you just cannot do it. Or even if you could do it, it's going to take so much longer that the cost is going to escalate.
Right.
The design, typically, we're not throwing the limitations that our equipment would do. We're trying to do what the architect envisioned. So we would typically try to mimic the best we can every idea that comes out of architectural, investment. Of course, we're going to try to utilize the equipment for the final solution.
Right,
So
right.
idea is that we maintain the performance, specified, and aesthetics, but then execution, we have more flexibility how we do this.
Right. Excellent.
Do you feel like you're an advanced manufacturer?
Very much. It's, I tell young people, don't work hard. First, if you want to work hard, search your soul, find out what is that you designed for, what you could be passionate about it.
Yeah.
And then you never work hard again. He
Right.
says, Terry, you work so hard. I say, no, I'm busy, but who
Right.
told you I work hard?
Yeah.
When you enjoy this, let me give you an example. Which kid goes to play sports because they want to make lots of money? None.
All right.
They all go for fun.
Yeah.
Some of them, when they're good at it, they end up making lots of money.
Right.
When they retire, what do? Throw away their sports equipment? No.
Right.
As long as physically they're capable, or musicians.
Yeah.
You show me one musician, I retire and he broke his guitar
Yeah.
or sold his piano.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No.
They just have more flexibility of choices,
Right.
more freedom, but they're still going to enjoy what they do.
Right.
This is what I see. I see so many young people, they chose the profession that's not parallel to
Right.
their ability to be passionate, and then
Right.
they suffer. The job becomes utility to make money,
Right.
and it's actually a waste of life. How much better would it was if you would do what you love, what you like, and get paid for it?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Now, how did you get your start? You talked about coming to Canada and starting this business, and it all looks like, yeah, it's not
Meant to
easy, but
be.
you know, it's like it's just all meant to be. But before you came to Canada, what were you doing, and were you always an entrepreneur?
So apparently I was entrepreneur after my grandfather.
Oh, nice.
He was a high school dropout, and he still was very, very successful at a young age. Back in Poland, I was running the roofing company. I started based on the law because private enterprise was not legal in communist Poland.
Right.
It was limited. There's only certain areas you could do. It was limited to four people, including owners.
Okay.
I found the loophole, students co-op. So the law required minimum 10 owners, and they would treat you like nationalized entity, even though you're private, because you have more than 10. Because nobody expects the student co-op can thrive and make lots of money.
Right.
So I had a different idea, and I utilized that law, but I started roofing company. And then at some point, I reached 650 people working for me right across the country, multiple
Wow.
locations on the government projects because, that was where the money was. And the government didn't like it. They said, you got to join the party. Communist Party going to look the other way. I said, do I do anything illegal, So first they tried to bribe me with benefits, that you see in any communist regime. That didn't work, so then they begin to threat. So that's why I quit. I left. I end up in Turkey in a refugee camp for 2 years, and then they give me 3 choices: Australia, US, or Canada. I end up in Canada, and my first job was in a stone quarry. I lasted 3 days. I had so many bruises on my hands that I decided to resign.
Yeah.
Then I went to some French guy. He had a vegetable farm and strawberries, and he says, I like you. He says, Ted, I'm going to hire you as a supervisor. So I worked there for the season. After that, it was Moncton, New Brunswick.
Okay.
And there was no, I did not see perspective for any job, long-term or career, so I decided to move to Ontario, and I end up in Kitchener. I planned to land in Toronto, but I end up in a traffic, driving all used car that I paid $100. I bought it in the East Coast, and I just got scared. Never see so many cars. I didn't take any exit till we passed airport in Toronto, and I said, next exit I'm taking, but it was the cornfields. Then I hit Milton, again, cornfields. Then there was exit Guelph, also sign, no town. I keep going. In Cambridge, I missed the exit, and I took the next exit, I ended up in Kitchener.
Oh, wow. Wow,
So-
that's amazing.
So, it was like a seed traveling in the wind, You land when you land.
It's so random, but yet, you're doing something so concrete.
It is because you have to embrace the opportunities.
Yeah.
There is too many people doubt themselves,
Right.
Oh, I don't know that. When something new shows up, I had nothing to do with the glazing industry.
Right.
I was just looking for the job.
Right.
The 2 Polish guys, they offered me to become a partner. They knew that I had the management skills back from Poland,
Right.
managing lots of people. They needed that.
Right.
Plus, my English was already better
Yeah.
than theirs. So they said, we need those 2 things. But I
Right.
had no clue about this business. But you got to be open-minded and curious
Yeah.
to what's happening. And then it's very simple. If you do those things, you're going to learn.
Right. Yeah.
So to success, this is what I have the recipe for the young people. I say, first of all, you have to have talent. My best advice that I believe is the best advice for young people is when you finish secondary school, you end up in a high school. two things. Maintain relationships. Make sure everybody is at least your neutral friend. You don't benefit from enemies.
Right.
Because they're going to disperse across the economy. And 20 years later, you're going to have friends. You're going to have friends, doctors, lawyers, whatever.
Right.
You know, you need that. When you go to university, it's too late because now everybody goes in the same path. So it's not the diversification is missing. Plus high school, you have to decide over those 4 years what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
And don't ask your parents or friends what should I do. It is you have that 4 years you have to discover how you do it. And I give him example of Mr. Edison, like when he was developing the light bulb. And the reporter is asking, sir, but so how many times you conduct the experiment with this? He says about 2,000 times. How you feel about failing 2,000 times? He says, no, I succeeded. I learned how not to do it.
Right. Yeah.
So what you do, right after you reach that level, you should expose yourself to maximum experience possible, even for a few days. Just to try yourself if you possibly would like it or not.
Yeah.
You know? And only then go volunteer, whatever. You know, anytime you have free, don't play those games or watch movies all the time. You know, just focus on experimenting. You know, see what can trigger that attraction. And then you focus on that. All you need is passion.
Right.
And then if you have talent, and first of all, you know, you need the basics. Second most important is you have to discover what you can be passionate about. Once you're passionate, the rest is history. It's only time before you're going to achieve level that you could consider yourself success going forward.
Yeah.
And then, as long as you have fun, just continue.
Yeah.
Constantly look for change. Somebody told me, what I'm telling you, guys, it's not that I developed this. I'm repeating what I hear in my life.
Yeah.
But just what I absorb. I said, I like that sentence. I like that sentence. I like put in my catalog and, you know, and just cut and paste as required.
Yeah.
So somebody told me, never slow down. There's three things inevitable in life. Taxes, death, and what's the third one? See, you fall into standard. You don't know. I say the third one is a change.
Change, right.
there you go.
Yes.
Change is also guaranteed, like death.
That's true. Yeah.
Nothing's going to go steady forever. So
Yep.
how you prevent change to destroy you? By constantly looking at the new opportunities and try to evolve to the better you, or
Right.
the better leader, or better professional, whatever you do in life.
Yeah.
You know, just constantly look for the new opportunities of improvement.
Yeah.
Because when you hit a certain age, then naturally you want to slow down. You want to cruise to the retirement
Right.
kind of thing. I've got enough, you know, it's just no more, you know. But I said there's nothing wrong having big ambitions, you know.
Yeah.
One day you decide to be president of the United States, you might end up being the governor of California or something. It's not such a bad deal.
Yeah.
Or mayor of Toronto, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. So you can always scale it down.
Right.
But
Right.
if you have small dream, you can only achieve small results.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Have the big dreams. So
Yeah.
when you see crazy machinery, all you have to decide, do I like it or not? That's number one. Is this the toy I want to have? You
There
know?
you go.
And then work the way how to achieve this, you know? And then, okay, I like the toy, but I actually don't produce anything that can use it. Well, find the customers who looking for product that you can produce it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
The key is that you like the toy.
There
That's
you go.
the main,
Yeah, start somewhere.
main item, yeah.
So you got a great outlook on life. Do you think that translates into your ability to connect with the people that work with you? And the question I want to really ask is, you know, a lot of people complain about the ability to find people that want to work in metal fabricating. Does your company experience that?
Yes, to a certain degree, it's inevitable. But I learned over my life that the best chance to create team is not to look what the people know, but who they are. How you pick your best friend at school? You base your selection on personality, on a connection.
Right.
So when you go interview the new person, new candidate, you got to look, you got to talk, and you ask yourself, how do I feel? Can this person be my friend?
Yeah.
And if that spark is there, then that's worth investing.
Yeah.
Because lack of knowledge, you can teach anybody. As long as you have the source of knowledge, then you can share that with anybody. You know, that is not this. But that connection creates the stability, you know? If you're gonna hire the guy who already looks like he's gonna betray you, you know, on the first day, you're not gonna keep him because of money.
Right.
The people have to have the feeling of belonging, you know? I call Noram a little village of Noram, you know what I mean? And we had, after recession 2008, we had a few years of losses, 2.5 years of losses, and my accountant is saying, you didn't lay off anybody. Like, we're slow. And I said, yeah, you're loyal to me, I gotta repay this. But he said, but that's business. You're running a charity? And I say, you know what, like, look at the army, what they do. You know, like when it's only possible in a small group. How many stories you heard about the soldiers? Somebody throw the grenade,
Right.
and there is 5 people in the room. They all feel like brothers. One of them is going to jump and cover the grenade with his body to save the others.
Right.
You know, that's normal for family when the love exists, right? Any parent would give his life for the child. You know, normal parent, anyways.
Right.
Right? but you see this. But friendships is different story. That is a far more bigger question mark if that could happen. But if you can ever achieve that, you know, then you have to go both ways. You know, a recipe for this is very easy. Treat others like you want to be treated yourself. That's it. Never allow the ego or anything gets in your way. You know, like, be human. That's all it takes. And I tell you, people will know. When you misbehave based on your authority, for example, and you don't behave like the friend would do,
Right.
you think people will notice? Of course, everybody says that this guy is whatever, right? The name, you know, I don't want to call it by the name. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
There will be negative word, you know?
Yeah.
But don't you think they notice when you do something good? Don't you think they notice? And believe me, this is a very simple equation. When you look at basic humanity, I say, look at the school. When the teenagers are getting together, they create the groups and they guard each other. You know what I mean? They're going to help each other. They're going to, this is, and it's no philosophy. We all went through that. Why not keep on repeating? Why not try to embrace something artificial? Because at the end of the day, you work with humans, you know?
Yep.
Reciprocation is the key.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you see for your company in the next 5 years?
Growing. 5 of my competitors are out of the market. You know, so there is it's not, market is not going crazy right now. You know, we have not necessarily the best climate at the moment, but eventually this is going to recover. And we invest currently with another 4 pieces of CNC equipment last August.
Wow.
And we're going to continue to grow, even though there is no work for this equipment, because I want to be ready.
Okay.
It's too late when suddenly 3 customers come and ask at the same time for service. If you don't have capacity ready, then you know they're going to go somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
What kind of equipment did you get?
German equipment,
You got machining centers?
machining centers.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Illumatic.
Wow.
All Illumatic.
How many people do you have working for you now?
In December, I've been asked because Pierre Polivier came for the visit.
Yeah.
And his team was asking how many people Noram employs. So we support 204 families.
Oh, wow.
As of last December, it was 204 paychecks. we issued.
Wow. Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So, you know,
That's
we keep growing.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great story.
Yeah.
Fantastic story.
Well, where can they find out more about Noram?
Check some information on LinkedIn. You know, like I'm not really advertising that much.
Really?
Not yet.
Yeah.
I found the most successful building relationships. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
again, just give.
Right.
Don't only take. Just give and give and give. You know, within the limits of affordability, but do those favors. You know, and then people will take you. You know, so what happens? The most common, how do we grow the customer base is that we did something for one customer, but that was witnessed by a number of people.
Right.
Over the years, these people began moving to work with the other companies, and they said, you should try Ted. He's worth to be considered. You know, they might deliver some good service to you, you know, value for your project. And that's why they bring us in, because
Right.
because price is not everything. I tell people, how misleading is all this tender process, price, you know?
Yeah.
Because reality is, I ask people, so would you drive the cheapest car? Would you wear the cheapest clothing? Would you eat the cheapest food? Would you go for cheapest vacation? Would you buy the cheapest house on the street? The answer is no. You always want a best value for your budget.
Right.
So you're going to decide, I want to buy a new car. What's my budget? You're going to set the budget. You're going to go in the market. What is the best deal for this kind of money? And that's actually what I see as the most prevailing factor. You know, your customers, they don't want to have a headache.
Yeah.
When you go and you look, you have health issues, you go to meet some surgeon and decided for the surgery, you don't want to have headache, you know. So suddenly price doesn't matter. As long as you can afford it within your budget, price doesn't matter. But you want to have service 100%, no failure, you know, I don't want to worry about anything like that, you know. And this is the dependence, you know, like what you do, you know, with everything, you know. Yeah. That's any sector that you rely on, that when you go to professionals, you know. And I believe construction is misunderstood, you know, because it's constantly who is the cheapest, who's the cheapest. It's not the case, because I see myself when we lose contracts on so many cases, because simply they trust somebody else that is a proven performer, despite the fact that we are with a substantial discount comparing to them, they still go with them because they know them. Mm-hmm. And there is that factor of comfort zone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's more money, but you know what? I know I'm going to have peace of mind. And these people gain business based on relationship, repeated business. Now, when you do repeated business, what happens? You actually, even you have the same price, you actually make more and more money every time it happens. Why? Because the learning curve is gone. Mm-hmm. Now you know your customer habits, you know what they like, what they don't like. It's so much easier to do. Plus, they would usually duplicate the approach, you know?
Sure.
It's a designer of GM. If he changes job and he works now for a new company, do you think he's going to develop new car? No, he's going to get another GM, improved version of another GM car with a different label on it, okay? Because he's going to base the next thing on a previous success, because that's a comfort zone. That's why you need young people in an organization, because their blackboard is clean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They don't have any previous factors. Otherwise, they're going to try to sell the same and the same. Mm-hmm. And the young people, they lack wisdom. So they're going to take risk, you know, and come up with a crazy idea for your consideration.
Right.
Yeah.
So now within your budget, you should not dismiss it. You should actually try what they do, because you never know.
Right.
When you face the new thing that happens, nobody knows the outcome.
Right.
Unless you buy a crystal ball in the black market somewhere, you can see the future, you know?
Well, you mentioned that you don't advertise. Get ready. You're on the Fabricator Podcast. Everybody's going to know now.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today. It was a great conversation.
It's my pleasure.
Fantastic conversation. I really appreciate it.
It's a great show, and I appreciate your guys' presence here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
No problem.
I'm very grateful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So if you have any comments, criticisms, or complaints, send them to podcast@fmamfg.org. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
That was
Great.
awesome.
The Fabricator Podcast is a production of the Fabricators and Manufacturers Association. The show is hosted by Dan Davis and Lincoln Bruner. The podcast is produced by Gareth Slager, recorded by Griffin Hammond, and edited by Dana Weicker. Additional support provided by Andy Flando, Elizabeth Gavin, Sarah Spring, Amy Hudson, Mike Owens, Billy Kolpa, and Pat Simon. If you like this podcast, check out the FMA Podcast Network. Thank you for listening.
So life goes on.